Hi guys, I thought I'd do two things here with this video. One is to do a review on Jordan Hoffman's Perfect Practice PDF, which I'll just from now on call it the PPP, it's so much easier. And the second is to answer some questions some of you have sent me about using the PPP and what I was using it for. So I just gave you an example of one of the things I was using it for was extending my register, not just high, but connecting it to my low notes. A lot of these charts and things I've been playing recently were not in my ability, and if they were, I was gassed within the first 15 minutes, and that was it for the day. Now I can play through a number of these charts and practice them continuously throughout the day, as long as I take a little bit of a rest. And the PPP has been extremely beneficial to me in that way. So let me talk to you how I do it. First off is I find an exercise that has elements in the music I'm working in, whether it be in the key or the pattern. And for this example, I'm going to use D minor because the D minor connects the high F above C down to the low D. And it was extremely beneficial for me working on that passage right there. The thing is to take your time with this and play softly and learn the patterns. I didn't use a metronome on this for the first month, just trying to get used to them. After the first month, I started using a metronome, and I recommend that you use a metronome, but start slowly. I started around 52 beats per minute with a metronome. Quarter note equals 52, and then worked my way up. The other thing I recommend is play with different articulations with these exercises. Don't just all slur them. Tongue them. Any kind of other articulation you need to work on, I highly recommend it. The thing with working out of this method and book is to think about balance. You're not trying to ascend into the upper register with sheer force and power. You're trying to get up there nicely, evenly, and musically the best you can. And don't be afraid of making mistakes. Jordan always tells me, it's the perfect practice PDF. You don't have to play it perfectly. There's always something in there to work on, and which is true. As soon as you get good at one, different key, or different pattern. It's designed to help you stretch and grow. All right, so let's use the example of how I approached it. I'm going to use the D minor that he has here. The first thing I do is go to the scale, because I want to get the key in my ear and work on ascending as comfortably as I can. Now, some of you guys have asked me, what if I can't play that high? Well, go to the highest you can comfortably and then descend from there, okay? This will progress you to where you need to go if you allow it, okay? So let me do the scale. Okay? Then we get comfortable with that. I'll go on to another exercise. For me, I liked using the thirds because the thirds help me with my ear training, especially in the upper register. And you heard there were some skips in that piece I just played with the Maynard Ferguson. A lot of thirds and fourth jumps in there that I was having trouble hearing myself when I was playing it. This really helped me. So the next thing I do is the thirds, again, softly and controlled. Okay, and then of course the descending one. Now, there's nothing wrong with expanding it as well. Currently I'm working on expanding that to an A, which is not written in this, but just to an F. And Jordan tells me, go ahead, do what you need to. Expand on it, contract on it, whatever. The goal is to let it work for you. Give it a chance to work on your weak areas, okay? The next one I do after this one is go to the arpeggio on top, because now I've done the thirds, now I want to expand the intervals and the differences in the intervals, again, for my ear, not just, playing of the horn. saw there, I stopped and reset and didn't try it again, and that's fine. It's about exercises, you know, and using it to help you so you can play musically. So make a mistake, it's fine. You know, that's the idea. That's how we learn. All right. The next one I do after that is the chord inversions and the different groups of chords here. And that one's a tough one for me. It really is. But that is a game changer for me. And the cleaner I get that one, a lot of things are easier for me. After that, I go into the fourths. But I need a little bit of a break. After I do the fourths, I go into the sequence of the scales. And these are 16th notes, and these are really good to get the fingers going and everything lined up so that what's happening here and here is synchronized. Okay, so let me try that one. And it caught me. I ran out of air. That's the nice thing about this one is it teaches you to extend your phrases as well as your range and your endurance. That's a fun one. And then he has a couple other patterns based on the 16ths as well. It's what you put into it that you get out of it. Like I can go back to that one again and I can try single tonguing it. Okay, got a lot of work there, but I now have a tool that can get me to what I want to do, especially if I record myself and play it back. So the tools are there in the PPP if you use them correctly. And that really helped me out with working with, especially with bridge over troubled water. I'm more consistent, at least more than I was before. And it excites me because now I can see my potential even more where it was just out of reach. Now I have something that can work. So I hope I answered some of the questions you guys asked me. And I hope that if you're ever curious, that you look into the PPP. And I think you will definitely get out of it what you put into it. Thanks so much, guys.